That is the ASD relay location. I got my terminal 30, 87. ECU grounds it here. That's the solenoid there. So I highly doubt it's getting 30 volts down there. That's the solenoid. Clutch in. Look at that voltage drop. Took it all. Nothing. Nothing. We got a bad cable. Okay, so voltage drop. Huge voltage drop when trying to crank this thing. I verified that when jumping the starter relay, there was no voltage drop across that circuit. So I say bad ground. And so there's my ground to the jump, the negative up top. And now I've got my, if you see here, I've got this other end of this wire is on the solenoid, and I'm just gonna hit the terminal 30. There you go. There you go. So it's got a bad ground. So I'm gonna disconnect my little jump. We find their factory harness for that terminal 50. There we go. And okay, we're plugged back in. Now all I've got is a ground. Get my stuff out of the way. I don't know this product very well in terms of where their chassis ground is, but I just dealt with this on a Mini Cooper. Voltage drop, starter and alternator, no alternator output, and the starter was dragging, bad ground. So I'll create a chassis ground for this one, but we'll get this down on the ground and let's see if she'll fire up with that ground. Now this one I was told is at the dealership for 3 weeks, and they're calling asking for more money, more diag. So let me put this relay back. There I am. Let's see what she does. She runs. It's got a bad ground. As you see, the starter had already been replaced. Didn't resolve the problem, so we're gonna create a ground for it, chassis to the engine. So I'll walk you through this and how I simplified this. But the battery's in the trunk and that ground was good. All these separation points, you can go through and test voltage, what's at them. You can try to load test them, whatever. TIPM's involved, etc. I had voltage at the starter, I did. This all looked good, it's all secure. This is where my fault was, the auto shutdown relay. But you can jump this. This can all be jumped, bypassed, and that's what I did. So how did I fix this? I ran a ground from this. This would be your jump point, the ground side, to the engine. And this is what they want you to use if you were going to jump start the battery. Ground, power. Went under it and to the block, nice and tight, nice good fittings on that cable. It's a little long. That was the only piece that I had, and I didn't know whether that was going to work 100 or not. It did. I'm not cutting it down. I'm going to just leave it there like that. It can be, pulled, routed, whatever. I may play with it a little bit more, but it's in place. It's secure. And again, just to show you, there's your battery. Power off of it. All these are good and tight. Ground there. Insufficient, I guess. So let's get in this car. Check engine light's probably on for that ASM relay, but airbag lights on, missing a seat. There's grounds under these seats. I don't know what the dealer chased, but all I can say is this was the easiest car I've had in a while. to diagnose, and I was a little apprehensive when I got a call that they wanted to bring it to me after it was at the dealership for a period of time. You know, your thought is, well, if the dealer can't fix it, and they know the cars much better than I do, I don't know what to tell you. But I did take it, and this is what it was, straightforward. So there has to be a foundation, there has to be a flow chart in your mind and in your head of where you're going to start, but there's also a flow chart in ALLDATA, etc. But you've got access to wiring diagrams, study them, learn them, and everything else is easy from there if you just follow the process, starting with the basics, power and grounds, and then load test and voltage drop, those same things. Find a way to load test and voltage drop, and you'll avoid replacing parts that aren't required, like that starter, going to shop, to dealer, and then, I mean, I don't know what this is going to end up costing this gentleman altogether, but it sounds like he's got a few toes that he's got to pay along the way. So, but this one's fixed. I'll put it together and put it down the road. Okay, so I found the issue. With those fault codes popping up for the O2 sensor, and that forces you to kind of look for commonality with that. It's a ground issue. So, looking at the wiring diagram, there's your O2 sensors. Ground for all four of them. Right rear of engine compartment, G29A. So, I just looked, right rear of engine. Again, if I was a Dodge tech, dealer tech, I would know where these grounds are at. I literally just now look back, but this sucker here, look at that. Somebody, let me get a light on that. Somebody messed this up. I'm gonna call this intentional. Somebody left this loose, and then obviously you're gonna get that heat and burning. So that's jacked up. But I'm gonna call this is gonna be your chassis. It's big, and then the other one is just the smaller one is a tie-in for your peripheral components like O2 sensors. So I'm gonna fix that as well. All right, there's the problem. This ground that sits back here. So when I looked at the diagram for the O2 sensors, they all share that ground, and that's the chassis ground and the O2 sensor ground. So I gotta try to fix that. Here's what I think is pretty lousy on the dealer's part, is that this is loose, and this purge valve is not even where it should be. This is where it should be, right here. They were right here. Did they know this? They just want to bilk it? I don't know. But we're gonna clean all this up. You can see the damage from it. We'll see if we can't do something for it. This is essentially rectified. I'm gonna clean this one up. But this one I'm gonna replace the connector, and because we want them O2 sensors to work properly. So I've added it, basically I pulled it back. There were 5 grounds together. I put basically a new terminal on there, cleaned up both ends, dielectric grease, and now I want to test this to see if there's any voltage on that ground side. See how that connection is going to play for us. So that ground's going to work. So yeah, we'll bring this one down. I'm going to clear out the faults, and we're going to be good there. But that may be something common. Let me know in the comments section. Let your fellow YouTubers know as well. Is this common for this vehicle? Now again, they had pulled this. This was sitting down in there. This was loose. Somebody had to have seen that. Somebody had to have known what they were after. I really don't know what's going on at the dealership and at the other shop, but my resistance from this ground to the block engine is good.